Hello, world. Welcome to Onside Takes. I'm your host, Caden. Joining me are my co-hosts, Tim
Yay.
and Caleb.
Yo.
This week, we have our divisional matches coming in hot. Only a few exciting games this week that had you at the edge of your seat, but wildcard games kept us all entertained, I'm sure. As for our football teams, though, we just are going to cover, moving forward, the teams that remain in the playoffs. RIP Jets. Upcoming RIP Vikings. But first up, starting up, the Vikings, who let down their fan base once again in a stunning display of awful football, leaving all fans in disbelief and full of rage. As for our Ravens, though, end quote, big Ravens dub. The flock holds on to its butts for the Bills game. Up first, the Vikings.
Oh man.
I got some things to say here.
Tim started off. I don't know if I can even
Really?
do it.
I was kind of fucking. I mean, I obviously have things to say, but you probably have them to say too. But sure, why not? I'll start it off. By the way, we're just gonna go through the games through the wildcard weekend since we can't do the normal Vikings, Jets, Ravens. So Vikings Rams obviously happened last night. It was miserable to watch. I couldn't finish it. I left half of the fourth quarter.
I didn't finish either.
I lasted half of the fourth quarter.
I watched the last
I
snap,
poured
baby.
myself a drink in the first half. That was like in a larger glass, and I just couldn't finish it because the game was so depressing that this feels awful.
We punted at like 6 minutes left, and I was like, "What's the point? Like, why don't we just go for it on 4th and 21 when we took our 7th millionth sack?" Like, and then I was like, "All right, let's just go upstairs." Like, screw. I don't need to watch 4 minutes of misery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is the most sad that I've been right before. But I think most Vikings fans assumed this was going to happen. At least half.
All right, I'm taking back over. This is
okay.
So what you just said absolutely
triggered the fuck out of me.
It triggered the. So you know how
He's about to crash out.
I'm eating my words. All right, I'm eating a full fucking season's worth of words. I'm eating last week's words. I'm eating the week before's words. Yes, I was confident. And I'm not, I wasn't lying because I was confident, but I think that I literally tricked my brain into thinking that something good could happen. Because I feel like I had that in the back of my head. This is bad. Don't.
You know, Caleb?
Be careful.
If I were to say one thing, I think the whole Vikings team got tricked with their brain chemistry after the Packers game celebration.
Dude.
Where they threw the fucking Rager. Sam blacked out as he got picked up. Like, I think it was...
It's so bad. I literally, like, the anger that 2 straight full entire games just sitting on the couch with this feeling of dread and just sadness of knowing that nothing will go our way and nothing went our way. So, all right, I'm going to say it. And you know how we talked about Sam Darnold for the whole fucking season, and then in the end of the season, we're like, whoa, we should sign it. You have to keep him. You have to keep him. And the question, what are they going to do with Sam Darnold? What are they going to do with him? Well, you know what, motherfuckers? I said, wait till the end of the season because we don't know what he's going to do in the playoffs. And you know what he did? Played 2 of the worst fucking games I've seen him play all year. His 2 worst games, and boom, done. He's done with the Vikings. He's gone. Sam, not the guy. Right there.
That dude cost himself like $100 million contract.
One bad game could have dealt with. 2 in a row where he looked the same bit of awful. Get him the fuck out. We drafted a rookie quarterback to play him. We ended up not having to play him because he got hurt. Just go back to plan A.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of here. Get out of plan B. Terrible. Just so terrible under pressure. He's holding the ball for a ridiculous amount of time. You cannot tell me that there isn't somebody open on the fucking field. You can't tell me. And then he takes, what was it, 8 sacks? Fucking 9?
I think it was 9.
I mean,
I think it tied the record for most sacks in a playoff game.
it was
in NFL history.
insane. The O-line sucked. All right, they sucked. All right, they are not getting off the hook. 2 games in a row, they got their asses whooped. So that is a area of need to address in the offseason. But Sam, combined with the shitty O-line, was a recipe for zero success. There is no way we win that game. I don't see it. We got our asses kicked. Even the second half, I was surprised because I went back and was looking at the box score when I was thinking about how to talk about the Vikings tonight. And the second half score is we had 6 points and they had 3. This game was over in the first half. Like, not that we played good in the second half, but not that the Rams played good in the second half either. Like, I mean, obviously they were just killing clock. They didn't care. But the game was so over in the first half. It's insane. Like, I just can't get over it. The no run game. Aaron Jones, every time they gave him the ball, he just ran for 1.5 yards straight forward into 5 offensive linemen that were already on their fucking ass. Like, I don't understand. Like, the only time we actually were able to run the ball was a couple plays where Cam Akers comes in and he runs for 20 yards by just running fast. I don't know. Huge turnovers. Sam, not only did he get sacked 9 times, but he also managed to fumble the ball instead of a sack. Does that count as a sack? Strip sack, I suppose. Yeah, that was counted.
Counts.
Yeah, you're right. So fumbles, they get 6 points or 7 points from that easily. We already couldn't fucking score, and we do that. And then on top of that, he threw an interception as well on their side of the field before the second half, end of the first half, and they scored a touchdown there. I mean, the Rams' 27 points, only about 13 of them were actually like earned by true offense. That's not a ton. Like, I can't even get. There's like no point in getting into deep into the offense. Besides, it was abysmal. It was shit. I mean,
before you move on to the
see...
defense, Gil,
Sure.
I guess I just want to say, and me, I was like, shit. If you go deep with Darnold, you gotta do it, and that's what our talk a few weeks ago was. But I also said that Darnold performs well if he has time and he has good weapons. And I'll tell you what, that motherfucker did not have time, and when he did, he was not utilizing his weapons. There's some times where he was just holding on to the ball for way too long, and then there's some times where his O-lineman literally got pushed over like a bowling pin, and Sam is just killed. I mean, just murdered right there on the fucking spot.
Did you guys see the play where the guy jumped up in the air like, oh my god, he jumped like a frog up through the air and like landed on Sam. It was like an after the play thing.
Yeah.
It was so funny. It didn't actually he didn't really hit Sam, and it wasn't like an intentional like crazy thing, but I saw that afterwards and I was like, that's just insane that would happen. That would only happen to Sam.
The O-line was awful, but Sam Darnold is just terrible at making time or finding or getting out of a sack or even throwing on the run.
He got in his head really bad.
That's the thing is he wasn't. Like, all he had to do was step up in the pocket and throw. But instead he was getting all like, running back and forth, trying to do all this like fancy feet shit instead of just taking a step forward like he did all season and gunning it. And then
he was overthrowing a lot too that game.
That's the one thing I was going to say is he couldn't throw the ball accurately. He missed so many wide receivers. He missed the laterals,
check down pass, man.
The checkdowns,
Dude, I watched that and I went, okay, game's over.
The second
game
half
was already over.
The first play of the second half, we do like a check down, like to Aaron Jones, and he just misses him. Fully just misses him. I was like, oh, so we're not coming out with a fire under our ass to try to win this game. We're just gonna keep throwing. Okay, sounds
even
good.
one of the touchdown passes, was literally, I think it was Addison. He caught it at his fucking hip behind him while he was running.
Yep.
Hawkinson. Like it ended up being a touchdown pass, but it was an awful throw.
Yeah, it wasn't a good throw. It worked, but it wasn't a good there was very few throws throughout the night where I was like, yeah, great job. But then there was so few. Even when he did it, it's like, well, it doesn't matter. One good throw for every 5 shit throws. Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, my
It was
main
just
thing going into this
depressing.
game is I was really scared because in my head, Rams pass defense is really good. Vikings run defense very good. And so I was like, shoot. I think if the Vikings can get their run game going, they can do this easy. But they just couldn't. O-line couldn't make gaps. Jones was reenacting Breece Hall for the first 6 weeks. Just running into ass cheeks. And the Rams D-line, they didn't look like that this earlier this year.
They've come on the last second half of the season. They were literally rushing their 4 big guys every play and murdering us. They weren't blitzing with 7 or 8.
Mhm.
They were literally just sending the 4 and having insane success. I mean, if you can send 4 guys and they can get to the quarterback, why would you ever not just leave everyone in protection and just take all passing options away?
Mm-hmm.
It's just props to them. I thought their defense played very well overall.
Yeah.
You know what? But we also played so shittily that it made them look good too. So I'm not really sure how good they actually are. But props to them either way. They played well. I gotta move away from the offense. I'm about to fucking throw up.
Run.
Like I'm about to throw
dude,
up.
Run.
Have to start better than giving up 2 straight drives for 10 points total, which would have been 14 if they didn't get a personal foul that backed them up. We would have just given up 2 straight long 70-yard fucking drives. Like, we have to stop. We have to have a game plan to stop Matthew Stafford and his wide receivers right away. Like, they just threw the ball for 15, 20 yards. 2 straight drives. Straight down the field. We're in a big hole. Offense instantly 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Like, you couldn't really get this game to start any worse except for if the Rams just scored touchdown. Like, we obviously knew that our offense struggled last week. The defense needed to show up today. No turnovers. 0. Now, should there have been one? At least one?
Dude, that call is awful.
We'll talk about that later.
Gulp.
But yeah, Stafford really just carved us up. Very little pocket pressure. I mean, he's an older guy. He can't scramble. He just stood there. Maybe he took a step up in the pocket and just threw the ball. I mean, why are we rushing 8 guys to not touch him? Like, of course he's going to get the ball out. I mean, the Rams Sean McVay had a great offensive plan for what we were trying to do. And basically what it seems like, and maybe this will change going forward, but Brian Flores, great at defense against shitty and mid-tier teams. Once you play against a team that's actually good and has a good coaching, they look at his defense and they're just like, well, that's fine. You can do all this blitzing. We know how to handle a blitz. And we have no success. I mean, it's insane. Really. I would say the best teams we played all season were the Lions and the Rams, and we're 0-4, and the season's over. So, absolutely brutal. I guess they played better in the second half, only giving up 3 points, but, I mean, what did it matter? The Rams were just running the ball, killing the clock, trying to get out of the game. I mean, I wouldn't give them props to them at all, to be honest, but just some overall thoughts. I mean, that's just such a Vikings season. Like, hardly any other teams are you going to have a 15 or a 14-win season. You're super hyped for playoffs.
Not just that, Caleb, but the best season in your franchise history.
We won 15 games in 1998, I believe.
Almost your best.
Okay. Or we won 14 games. I can't remember. Either way, it's tied for maybe the best. Yeah, you'd think, like, the hardest thing is I look at that team I know we weren't frauds this year. I know that it looks like we were because of the last 2 games of the season. But I know we weren't. We were a good team. The defense was good. The offense was phenomenal. But for some reason, the wheels on the bus just fucking fell off. Week 18, first round of playoffs. I mean, talk about the shittiest timing imaginable. Like, why couldn't that happen week 9 and 10? Figure it out then, at time. But, like the Vikings do every year, I should say every year, every time we think we're going to do something, boom, crash out. Absolute. Would never want to win a game. I will say that the Vikings lost this game wholeheartedly by themselves, okay? But fuck the fucking refs. You know what? I am so done with this bullshit. Every game that we lost this year, 2 against the Lions, 2 against the Rams, was just abysmal reffing. And it just seems like they didn't want us to win. I do not understand how the fuck Matthew Stafford can have his head in the fucking ground, throw the ball at near Puka's feet, and they're like, yeah, that's an incomplete pass. You don't get to just throw the quarterback or throw the ball willy-nilly as you're getting sacked, and it gets just called an incomplete pass. That's insane. And at the least, I can maybe accept that he was trying to throw the ball. But, throwing a ball from 5 inches off the ground probably isn't going to be a pass, really, because who the fuck's going to catch that? And the fact that they didn't call it intentional grounding is insane.
Needs to be reworked, man. You can't keep it like this. I hate watching it. I hate that you can have your head turned away, facing the fucking ground. You just flick your wrist in a forward direction, and there happens you don't fucking know. There happens to be someone in the general area, and then okay, you don't get sacked. What? It's ridiculous.
It is absolutely ridiculous. They need to. I don't know. They need to reward the defense more. This is an offensive league. I get it, but defense makes a great play. Matthew Stafford, I think, makes a bonehead, dumbass move for a veteran quarterback, and he gets rewarded fully for it. Did we punt? Did we get them stopped there, and did they have to punt? Yes. So I don't know how much it actually changes the game. If they leave it as a fumble, though, that changes the game completely. That's a tie ball game.
Yep.
Maybe that ramps us up. Maybe the game changes. But instead I don't know. That just seems like a broken rule, because that just can't be. It's not a football play. That's just some bullshit fine print reading of the rule. I don't understand. There was a lot of plays that I felt like the refs were not helping us out on. I don't have those examples now because that was the main one. But we also got called for a face mask. I don't know if you guys saw it, but they basically didn't throw a flag, and then the refs got together and called it a face mask. But they didn't throw a flag.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. That was so strange.
We couldn't get a fucking face mask call in the regular season when Sam Darnold got his head fucking spun around, but they can just gather.
I think they threw it after off the side, but there was an indication or something. That's what the commentators are saying, but they weren't even sure. So how am I supposed to be sure?
And does it even count if you throw the flag 15 seconds after the play? You're like, I definitely saw that.
Oh, it most certainly does. Because that happened a lot in the Jets games.
People's houses were on fire.
Dude, is this not the most Vikings thing ever?
Fucking script, man.
The Vikings go in, have a chance for the number 1 seed. Boom, lose the game, of course. Somehow they get the 5 seed, which obviously we know how it happens. And then the Rams rest all of their starters the last week of the season, so they end up being the 4th seed instead of the 3 seed. And then these fires happen. Prayers for the Los Angeles people. But then they have this cause behind them to make them we got to win for our people. And the Vikings just get absolutely schmucked by a team they shouldn't have played because they shouldn't have. The Bucs should have been the 4th seed. And there's this, this cause behind them as well. Everything that could have gone wrong in the last 2 weeks did. And it's just insane. I can't believe it's happening again. That's all I can say. I can't believe it's happening again. But don't worry, we're just disappointed, and we are, as Vikings fans, we are all coping in our own ways. Burning jerseys, hopefully not. Those things cost a lot of money. But
Maybe if you got a Darnold, you probably won't need that one anymore.
if you got a Darnold jersey, you're fucking insane. But
That's a ride or die, bro, right there.
yeah, moving on. The future at quarterback, we know now. So thank you, Sam Darnold, for showing us your true colors, making the decision simple. We appreciate that. We don't appreciate the ending, but honestly, Super Bowl probably wasn't in the cards this year either way. So I guess whatever. If you're not going to win it, then move on. But we have
Sam
clarity
Darnold
at that.
wins that game. He just Daniel Joneses himself into like the most ridiculous contract. Easy 100 mil. He does jack diddly poop for the next 3 years, and then he's out of the league.
Maybe, but we've been saved, I guess. But the future is unknown for our defense, especially. I think like 7 or 8 of the starters are not signed right now. They're currently free agents. I want the defense back. Pretty much every player on that list I want back. Harrison Smith might retire. We don't know. I don't know if we want him back or not. He's pretty old to be playing safety. He still had it this year. I thought he was good, but I don't think his coverage is insane because he's just not as fast as he probably used to be. But we'll talk about that in a future pod. But fun season, remember, doesn't feel good right now. Was a rebuilding year, doesn't feel good. Like, I don't love the branding in a rebuilding year. Like, oh, it was success. We were a good ass team. Like, I don't care if it was a rebuilding year. We became a good ass team, and this is the performance we put up. Abysmal. And then the last thing is I'm just throwing it out there for all you Vikings fans. Just think of the last 3 years, our draft classes that Mr. Quessy has drafted for us. 23 picks and 4 players that have actual impact in the game. 23 picks in 3 years, 4 players with any actual playing time. That's not starting necessarily, just playing time that has impact.
So did he get extended?
I think both him and O'Connell, their contracts are up. We must re-sign O'Connell. I don't care that he obviously did not perform well in either of his playoff games, but whatever. I know he's a good coach, so we need to keep him.
Dude, he was calling the right things. He was calling the right plays. Darnold was just not delivering the ball.
I think the head coach has to have accountability, and he did take accountability after the game. But 2 playoff games.
Yeah, but those sideline run balls, like, there was at least 5 of them where if Sam throws it, it's a 40-yard play.
Like, you should have stopped calling it if you couldn't throw it.
Yeah, I mean the issue is like right. O'Connell has a 13-win season and a 14-win season and 0 playoff wins. I don't want to get rid of him, guys. We also have to be realistic with like criticism. Like, we have to win playoff games when you win that many games in the season. There's no fucking reason to have a good season. We should have just played like the worst team in the fucking league and got the first round. We should have just played like the Jets and got a good draft pick. I mean, I'm sorry. The shade. I'm sorry.
That's understandable.
We'll just move forward. Kevin O'Connell, we gotta sign him. Quessy, I'm not sure. He made good free agency moves. The draft has been brutal. We gotta draft some players that play. Please. Let's move on. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry. Season's over.
We're moving on to happier times. The Ravens got a playoff win.
Hooray!
I'm not gonna
Hooray!
Obviously, I'm real happy about that. I put up this Ravens blanket in celebration, but obviously it was expected to. If they didn't win, I would have been absolutely fucking destroyed.
Tim would have crashed out. He wouldn't have had a room.
Crashed out.
He would have burned down.
Hard.
That would have been even double bad because it was the Steelers.
Yeah, it would have been. The Steelers
they suck, so there was no shot.
Yeah. But we got it. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't like bouncing off the walls happy. I was just like, nice, cool, because
I mean, it was free.
we need a Super Bowl win, at least a Super Bowl appearance. Otherwise, it's gonna be a disappointment. Let's be honest. But before I talk about the rest of the playoffs, I'm gonna do overview of the game. It was real fun to watch. We pounded their fucking asses just with that ball, man. They could not stop the run. It was a lot. It was a lot of fun. I at one point Lamar ran the ball 5 times in a row, and it kind of just worked. That was fun.
I
he
saw
did
That
get-
was the defensive cord. I'd crash out, dude.
I don't know if you had this in your list of things to talk about, but there was one drive where the Ravens only ran the ball, whether it was Lamar or Derrick Henry, and they scored a touchdown. They
I
didn't throw
actually
the
didn't
ball.
see that.
It was
I
like
remember there were
70 plus yards,
Yeah,
5
Like 9
carries.
plays, 70 yards.
Or
they ran
something,
for
yeah.
about 300 yards. 299 technically, but it was absolutely crazy.
That's an insane number. I mean,
There was a really iconic picture of Derrick Henry's touchdown run, his 40-yard touchdown rush. There was this picture of Lamar off to the side, and then 3 Steelers defenders lined up to guard Lamar, and Derrick Henry's lane is wide open. And it's just incredible to watch. Obviously, we did not have Zay Flowers. But we did more than fine without him. We really picked up slack. You know, we might not have wide receiver 1 anymore, but we have a couple wide receiver 2s now is what it feels like. I didn't miss them all too much. Granted, we didn't play the world's greatest team. We played unlimited diarrhea, but it was still it felt like we did have a real passing game there. It was 21-0 at halftime. You can't ask for more than that. It obviously the third quarter kind of slipped away from us. And that's something we got to clean up. You got to play a complete game if you want to win if you want to go all the way. But
yeah, because the Ravens and their exceptions, they're pretty bad at finishing.
Tim, not to be that guy, but I've been seeing it all year. George Pickens, that guy does not get 50-50 balls. He gets 60-40s, and he's just a freak. So, you know, if you're gonna lose on the passing for a little bit to one guy, it should be a freak on the offense. So
Could have been worse.
I that was the only time I ever sweat the whole game. Was for I had a couple beads that formed when they scored like 14 points in the same quarter, but then I was like, we're fine. We didn't see any kicks from Justin Tucker, so
oh no,
makes me happy, makes me nervous. You're not a complete team if you can't trust a kicker. I've been saying that for weeks, and one of these weeks he's gonna kick. All right. And I have no clue what the fuck is going to happen. You literally
will not win a Super Bowl without Justin Tucker helping you. It's impossible.
Yeah.
So, good luck. It's not going to be good.
No.
The Craven.
Or maybe he has a reawakening.
I would love that. Maybe
Some would
he
say
just
the
forgot
Craven
that he
comes
forgot
out.
how to kick. He forgot, and he just plays like great again. Because Lamar, he's locked in. He told the press, he said he didn't even talk to his mom before the game. He's finally looking like regular season
Does he
Lamar
always
Jackson.
talk to his mom before the game?
Well, his mom called. He said he didn't answer.
Okay.
He said, I don't want to talk to nobody.
No respect to his mom. Gosh.
I don't want to know, but
Not my MVP.
My MVP tucks his mother in with a kiss every night.
Does he?
That's what Sam... No, I'm saying that's what you would say. I'm putting words in your mouth. But yeah, it looks like regular season's Ravens. They look like a complete team for the most part, which feels really, really good. The Steelers got 61 yards the first half.
Wasn't even a test, though. You know, like like the Steelers, they've been on a slide for like 6 weeks straight.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
probably
They
doesn't
kind of
even
look
feel
like the
good.
Eagles last year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like you must be just like sweating thinking about the game this weekend.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been saying
Listen,
that the game this
okay.
weekend will be the it's gonna be
It's the Super Bowl.
I said
it's
it.
the Super
It's
Bowl.
the
It's not
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Like I didn't have it, but like if I went with the Ravens, it's Ravens all the way. I went with the Bills, it's Bills all the way, because those two teams are just playing on a different level right now.
I gotta say, obviously, I think the Ravens have a really good shot at winning it. They destroyed the Bills when they played them already this year.
Yep.
But if they also had lost to plenty of teams worse than them. So listen, I have so much hope,
Mr. Winston?
but it's a 50-50 shot, if I'm gonna be honest. I haven't seen a single person. I haven't seen a single Bills fan. I haven't seen a single analyst. I haven't seen a single Ravens fan that says, "Oh, X team's gonna win for sure." Every single person that is looking at the Bills Ravens game is just like, "Well, it's gonna be good. One way or the other, it's gonna be a good game because those are two fucking elite quarterbacks on great teams, and they're complete. It's gonna be fucking tough." So I'm going with optimism and hope in my heart, but it's I'm nervous, man. I'm real nervous.
The game,
Derek,
Tim, it's a 1.5 spread.
to the Ravens, right?
Surprised it's
Of
not
course.
not even a half point.
Shit.
It's at the Bills though.
Yeah, it is at the Bills, but we did beat them at the Bills too.
I know, but it's colder now.
Hey, how you can stop
It's cold
Derrick
in
Henry in the
Baltimore.
cold?
It's cold in Baltimore.
It is cold in Baltimore, but it's colder in Buffalo.
Yeah,
Just saying.
it's gonna be a cold game.
That's true.
But both
Derrick
these
Henry,
teams are prepared for that.
Yeah, he got this is his fourth straight game with more than 135 rushing yards. So it'd be cool if he could keep that going.
Or
Yeah, he got in the 160s this game, I believe.
Can you believe that
the
Tim
past
didn't
two.
know Derrick Henry before the season?
He wasn't on the Ravens, man.
Bro,
I don't
this
fuck's Derrick
this guy
Henry.
is franchise changing. I mean, this could be. This is insane.
Listen,
He's
when he
insane.
dons the purple, that's when I start paying attention. I can't play any players on the fucking Jaguars, man. Okay, except for the quarterback.
For the Titans.
Yeah, I wasn't saying Derrick Henry played for the Jaguars.
okay,
I'm just saying, like, on some random fucking teams, I'm like, yeah, there's the quarterback and the rest of those. If they're not in my division, I don't really care.
Derrick
sure
Henry's
don't
a
exist.
freak, though. He's a freak.
He is a freak. He is a freak.
Size-wise.
Mhm. Another really great part of that game was how many penalties do you guys think the Ravens got?
I'm gonna guess 3.
They got 3 for 14 yards.
For 14 yards?
Mhm.
Holy shit.
The opposition got 7. I was just watching the third quarter. I'm like, wait a minute. There's no penalties. We've been having a clean game. What the fuck? That was awesome. So, it's
Refs wanted they wanted Lamar to go forward. They were helping him out.
Did you guys? Okay, the refs were literally speaking to Lamar to Josh Allen on the sideline, but that's besides the point.
I saw
That's
the
for
whole
next
thing
game.
about that's bullshit, but it's very funny to see.
But yeah, hopefully for the status injury update status on Zay Flowers, it's touch and go. He's not practicing this week. John Harbaugh did say though that he would be if he felt good to play, that he's the type of person that they would play without practicing. Honestly, I would be very surprised to see him play on Sunday.
Gotta win.
Gotta win though.
That's gonna be hard though. That's bad.
He's effective. He's effective. He's the wide receiver one. It's
the thing
hard.
is, if he comes back, like he still
has
wide
practice
receiver
in 2
1.
weeks.
Like right. I mean that's makes a big difference.
Yeah, this
I
is
guess
kind of
Jalen Hurts was
but I
out
just
2
remembered
weeks.
Deontay Johnson just got waived from the or dropped from the Texans
Nice.
for locker room issues.
What?
So it wasn't
He's
the
on a
Ravens' fault.
tear. He's on an absolute tear.
Nobody's gonna want that guy. But
the
yeah,
guy in the Jets.
Lamar's locked in. All eyes on the ring. I'm really nervous about next week. It's the Sunday night game, I believe, too. So I gotta fucking be anxious about that for the rest
All weekend.
all weekend.
Your Monday is going to be destroyed.
You might
Oh
want to take that
God.
day off already.
No, because if the Ravens win the Super Bowl, I got to take that next day off work.
Tim
Can't
only
leave
has
it
one
open.
PTO day all year.
Exactly.
So gotta ration.
I get work to the bone, man. I get one day. I get one football personal day.
The
But
best.
that's all I gotta say. It was too crazy of a game.
Sounds good.
But I think it's time we move on to the Chargers at Texans game.
I can do
Now,
run
this is one that I watched quite a bit. This is the one I watched most closely. That wasn't the Ravens and Vikings games.
Well, Tim,
This was kind of
I'm
a heater of
sorry.
a game. This one was.
I'm sorry.
I obviously this game was kind of awful, but it was fun to watch. It was an awful game, but it was fun to watch. Justin
Let's
Herbert
talk about
threw four picks. Okay,
Justin
he
Herbert
threw 4 picks.
threw more interceptions in this wild card game than he did the entire regular season. Tim.
That's an
Yeah.
insane stat. That's
Yeah.
actually crazy that you could throw more picks in one playoff game than your entire season.
Other thing,
But-
McConkey,
McConkey.
that guy's a good fucking wide receiver, dude.
Lad McConkey is the Chargers offense. Without Lad, they are nothing. There's no help. It's literally Lad and Justin and J.K. Dobbins. That's it. 3 players. It's a 3-player offense.
That guy played amazing, but you know, we got to give credit where credit's due. We have been the Texans fucking haters
True.
on this
We
podcast.
are.
I had
and
no
they
fucking faith.
They proved us the fuck wrong, dude.
Dude, they showed up. They wanted that fucking win. It was actually insane.
Yes,
Their
sir.
defense
It was incredible. I
So
honestly think the offense was nothing that great. Like your
Texans
playoff team, you're
defense
supposed to have
has
a good
been their
offense.
strong point.
Like it was fine.
It's been their
but the
offense
defense
that's
was
been really
incredible.
lacking. Let's look at some of these stats. Mr. Stroud threw 22 for 33, 282 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 int, and then number 1 receiver, Nico Collins, because you know the other 2 in front of him are fucking out. He had 7 receptions for 122 yards. So this game was really carried on the backs of wide receivers and, of course, Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon, quote, he said the locker room feels like the Bengals locker room the year they went to the Super Bowl. So
I mean, I don't know.
just throwing it out there, like he's been to one, and he knows what it's like to be on a team to make it. So he says it's got the similar vibes. I mean, I don't know why he wouldn't say that, but he said it. So
If the
watch out, I
Texans
guess.
beat the fucking AFC Titan gauntlet, then I'd like do something horrendous on
There's no way.
for this. Like there's no
Simply,
way.
we respect you, Texans. Really good defensive showing. Chargers probably frauds. Honestly, they looked like not a
I've been
playoff
saying the
team.
Chargers are frauds. I've been hating the Texans and the Chargers. So whichever team loses, I was going to be right.
You took them to win, Tim. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I did call the Texans bigger frauds, which I guess they showed up. So
There's no way the Texans offense can sustain them throughout this playoffs. It's impossible.
I don't know, dude. The only way the Chiefs' offense is sustainable is Kelsey on 3rd downs randomly appearing open in the middle of the field, and Texans got some good safeties. So
but even if you think that the Chiefs have not a great offense right now, they still have multiple options. The Texans literally have Joe Mixon. Like they're also a 3-player offense. Like
you're not wrong.
It was the 3-player offense. It was the 3-player offense.
That game,
the better defense won.
Yeah, that game might honestly come down to a battle of defense.
But the Chiefs' defense is better. Like,
yeah,
that's the thing.
Honestly,
Patrick Mahomes knows the playoffs. CJ Stroud will mess
there's
up.
just no
He
way.
will throw interceptions. I think this game will be a blowout.
maybe year 3 or 4, Mr. Stroud, but I think it's time for a new champion this year.
All right, we're getting ahead of ourselves though. We got to talk about the future games.
Of course.
Yeah.
But
Of
we're
course.
going just
I'm
this game
so
now,
sorry,
but yeah.
everybody.
This
Let's
I
move
was-
on.
Got a little bit
This
ahead
was
of ourselves.
my
Oh, okay, Tim.
this was my game of the week. Honestly,
What the fuck? Dude,
Like,
you're so
Ravens-
insane.
You're
You're
on crack.
pissing me off right now.
There's
Tim.
another game we're gonna
Okay,
talk about
I
that
will
is
say,
better.
I will say, I didn't get to watch Commanders. I did not get to watch Commanders
Oh.
Bucks like I wanted to.
The one you should have watched.
So, given every other game was a fucking blowout, yeah, this was my game of the week.
Not even the Ravens was better than this?
Obviously, I enjoyed watching the Ravens game more, but it wasn't like an interesting game. I just got to spend time at a playoff
Dude,
game
this
with my
game
team
wasn't
up.
fucking
Like that was the best part.
interesting.
It was
Over,
kind of
like-
interesting.
Like 4/6 of the fucking points was from
if
defense
you
running
block,
it back.
If you block a kick to return it for a safety, that's a good fucking game. Okay. If your dumbass kicker punched it into the ground instead of catching it because it's alive, because he doesn't know it's a live fucking ball, that's an interesting game. If you throw 4 picks, if there's 5 picks thrown, it's an interesting game.
Okay, this
Like-
just brings up one more thing about the Vikings. I'm sorry. Did you guys see the block? The
I saw
punt?
that. I don't know
that
how the
he-
fuck he missed.
The punter dodged him. That was also game changing. The amount of plays that didn't go the Vikings' way was insane. I'm not going to talk about it now anymore, but just that one was also just absolutely insane. He could have just grabbed the ball and ran instead of blocking it. Was how in he was. But I'll move on. Sorry. Next game.
All right, next game we got Broncos at Bills.
Stinker.
All my Believers,
It's gonna.
you got
It was a
gunned down in
bad
the
game.
streets. I'm sorry, everybody. But that's
God.
talk real. Let's talk real. First half, hella competitive. Hella competitive game between these two teams.
I was locked in the first half because I'm like, what if we don't even play the Bills?
And
Yeah.
didn't the Broncos miss a field goal at the end of the half?
Yeah, okay.
Like, it could have been
before the
10-10.
very end. The Broncos missed.
It could have been 10-10.
It could have been 10-10. When they missed, that was the end of the interesting game.
But
I
the Bills.
I'll say it. I think the Broncos offense were not in sync with Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix was throwing good passes that were not getting caught. And
They're-
like
you got to remember, the Broncos have like 73 million in dead cap. They have nothing on their offense besides Cortland Sutton and Bo Nix.
yeah,
It's another one of those. They have the most
Franklin's good.
dead cap, I think, ever, because of the Russell Wilson contract. So
Yeah, there's
playoffs is just
next
good
year
for them.
they'll rebound though because they ripped off the Band-Aid and all that shit.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is a great season for them. I mean, a rookie quarterback going to the playoffs, competing for half a game against the Bills. I mean, you couldn't really ask for too much more in your first season with Bo Nix and this much dead cap.
Well, unless your team name rhymes with Momanders, but we'll talk about them soon.
They did not play the same caliber of teams. Just putting that out there. I don't have too much else on this game besides, good
Josh
try,
Allen did
Broncos,
Josh
but
Allen things.
Josh Allen and the Bills.
And James
they're-
Cook established himself a little more, I feel.
Yeah,
Mhm.
23 carries for 120, just absolutely tearing it up.
Y'all weren't putting respect on his name. I think he's still
I
a
was putting
top
respect
4.
on his name to further
Still
my
top
opinion.
four.
I think that
I
I
think-
just have this skewed view of Dalvin. Like, I don't like Dalvin Cook because I don't think he wasn't as good for the Vikings as I want him to be, and then he just got bad really fast. And since James Cook is his brother, I also view him as not being very good. So they're the same genetics. So,
Yeah.
respect to James Cook. Respect.
For sure. This game, really, Josh Allen did whatever the fuck he wants second half. You have 5 wide receivers with over 25 yards receiving. Like, that's crazy work. 4 of them over 35. So he's really getting the ball to whoever the fuck is open effectively. And they're on a clean
And none
route.
of them are like stars. Like he's just got like they all are just solid players.
Just Shakir.
That,
Like that's
Shakir. I'll give you that.
Yeah. Well, maybe Kincaid. They got a few people that
But there's so many names. When you go down the list of receivers that caught balls, they're all like, oh yeah, that guy's decent. That guy's decent. There's no stars, but they're all like decent. Which I mean,
are the Buffalo Bills the new 49ers?
Damn, I didn't know you fucking hated the Buffalo Bills like that.
I meant that in the way like they have their like 7 all-stars and everybody else is unknown.
Mm.
they don't have all stars though. They're good, but they're
That's a
not
good point.
all stars.
They have Josh Allen.
All-stars. Yeah. What can't he do?
Beat Mahomes in the playoffs.
I don't want to talk about Josh anymore.
We'll see.
Actually, let's
We'll
move on.
see. We will see. Probably not though.
Up next, we got Bucks at Commanders. I'm gonna say it since I'm the fucking one who took the Bucks to win. The Bucks defense, you guys fucking sold my fucking draft, bro. You guys are fucking frauds.
This guy
What the
won a
fuck
Bucks
was it?
Super Bowl.
It
That's
was
insane.
35 minutes of possession for the Commanders, 24 for the Bucks. That's horrendous. What the fuck? If Baker has the ball in his hands, he can do magical things. But unfortunately, you got to get him the fucking ball.
He only threw 18 passes.
Jeez.
Wow. They did not run a lot of plays. You were correct.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
they and it's literally a 1 field goal game. It's fucking
They doinked it in for the win, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
that was insane. The doink in, I was watching it, it went up and I was like, oh my god, it's gonna doink. And then it went doinked and in. It's like the luck. The luck.
I'm
I
so
mean, I
sad
wanted
I
the
missed
Commanders
that
to win,
game.
you know, Jaden Daniels.
For sure.
fuck off.
I know, the Vikings should trade for Jaden Daniels.
No.
You're gonna trade your whole franchise.
They can have Kevin.
That's a crazy trade, bro.
You
don't
can
even
trade
know what
coaches.
JJ's
Do you
done
want
yet.
the Vikings to be cursed forever?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Jaden Daniels played an amazing game though.
His
268
poise
yards.
is just insane. Like, he plays so confident but calm. Even like he's a rookie and he's won
got
so
aura,
many
bro.
games in the last
He's
fourth
got aura,
quarter.
dude. They didn't even win off rushing yards, dude. Jaden Daniels had 13 carries for 36 yards, and then Robinson Jr. had 10 for 16. So that was their second most carry. Like, they did not win this game off rushing. It was all passing. 2 people with 89 receiving yards, dude.
Just
He's
whipping
got a
that
fucking
thing.
gun. He's got a gun of an arm. I'll give him that. The Bucks should have won this game.
I don't
I'll
think
die
so.
in that.
Maybe they should have been a better
mean-
team if they wanted to win.
They didn't win, so they
Tim,
shouldn't have won the game.
I might just have to say that next week. That's all I'm gonna say, dude.
That's fair to say.
I might
That's
just have to
fair
say that
in the
next.
playoffs.
Don't crash out. Don't crash out if I say it. That's all I'm gonna say.
I won't. That's literally your job in the playoffs is just to be the better team.
In all facets of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But let's look at the fucking Bucks offense, dude. 92 yards with Mr. Evans and 77 yards with Irving. Fuck, dude. They had some good stat lines. They just didn't have the ball. And that cost you the game.
It was
GG.
it was a great watch. It was back and forth with the scoring.
Yeah,
It was the only enticing game. Really.
I agree. Moving on. After my crash out session, I got to crash out for one team a week. You know, if it's not the Jets, it's got to be somebody. Moving on, we got the Packers at the Eagles. You guys, Jordan Love,
It's not it.
that's a yikes performance. Performance.
This was not a good game
I feel like
in any
even
regard.
Jalen Hurts was not stand out.
No,
he was
the
real
Eagles was
mid.
not a. It was not a like. Oh yeah, they proved themselves. Like
No,
this
but
game.
I don't
You
feel
can't expect
that's
these
how the
Eagles
Eagles
to beat the Lions. You can't expect these Eagles to beat the Rams. Honestly, if you had controversial, but
I think the Eagles, right? I don't think the Eagles have been like flashy wins like the fucking Lions, for example. But the Eagles have been successful all year because they control the game. They control the pace of the game. That's what their defense does. So, like, until we see an actual threat, not saying the Packers
Maybe.
weren't a threat, because they definitely were, but they got dog walked. They got
The
dog walked.
Eagles' offense is a liability.
for sure.
They
I don't
Lions
think so.
Saquon.
You got
if
Saquon.
they can't run the ball, they are cooked.
Who's stopping their run game in the NFC right now?
Honestly,
Ravens.
the Rams might.
Tim, that
On
is
the
not.
NFC, sorry.
The Rams front four
Rams
are.
Yeah,
You're not wrong, Caleb.
The Lions defense
Maybe it'll
is
be a much
damn
closer
good.
game than expected.
We're not talking about that game, but
That's a good point.
that would be the one team that I would list
Yeah.
in the NFC right now. The only team actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Packers are just
Also,
honestly they're in a terrible spot.
awful fumble call from the refs on that one. I don't know how the fuck you give that ball to the Eagles when they were it was the Packers guy and he was like on his back with holding the ball and he wasn't like ruled as down with possession and somehow the Eagles got it. It was insane.
I did not see that play, but if it went against the Packers, I'm okay with it.
I did want the Eagles to win because fuck the Packers, but now I want the Eagles to lose next week because fuck the Eagles. So
Yeah, it's just a boring game.
for
Yeah,
sure.
There's
not
not
much
too much
else.
to talk about. Jordan Love, 3 interceptions, 212 yards, passing 20 for 30. The receiving core was good, rushing was good, but really they lost the game off interceptions and Eagles defense. So
Yeah, well, there's a one fun thing that happened this game, but we'll save that for Dub or Flub.
okay. And that was the last game of the Wildcards. We will move on to Dub or Flub, and then as always, on to our predictions for next week. We, of course, will talk more about the playoff scores once we get there. Let's move into Dub or Flub. Dub or Flub.
Dub.
First up,
Spicy up first.
there are no elite QBs in the NFC.
I don't even know if this is spicy. There's simply like, and when we say the NFC in this, to me, I'm just thinking about the last four alive.
Yeah, you better
Yes.
choose your answer very
I was
carefully.
thinking about every single team, but
Actually,
yeah.
I just want to hear Caleb's response quick, Tim. Hang on.
Jalen Hurts, not elite.
Uh-huh.
Right? Matthew Stafford was. I don't think he's elite anymore.
Yep.
He didn't play the best this season. Jaden Daniels, he's not elite yet.
Your
He can't
MVP
be.
contender, Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, he can't be elite yet.
The rookie of the year, not the
he's
MVP
not.
contender.
He's not elite.
To Caleb,
And
it
then
is.
Jared Goff, honestly, I don't think he hasn't been put under pressure to perform in huge games. And they lost last year in the NFC Championship. I don't think he's elite right now because his team kind of carries him throughout. So I don't know.
I think this is
It's
a dub
just so
take.
fraudulent. It's so
I think it's a dub
fraudulent.
It's a
take.
dub.
If
Dub take.
if Josh Allen can carry his team, the Lions' other teammates besides the quarterback can carry their team.
I'm
He
saying
has
I'm
the
saying Jared Goff's
highest
not elite.
completion percentage of any QB in the league.
Listen, okay, I think
Or is completion a nerd stat, Tim?
Yeah, nerd stat. It's a nerd stat.
I'm the guy who calls things nerd stats, by the way. But listen, I think Jared Goff and Matt Stafford are the two best QBs in the NFC. But I'm sorry, you put them next to Joe Burrow, who I think is the weakest of the elite QBs
Burrow,
in the AFC, and I think they
Mahomes.
don't look as good. I don't think they'd be in the top 4 QBs in the AFC. I think obviously Jared Goff is great, but like
the top 3 AFC QBs are elite. The NFC does not have anyone of that caliber right now, and no matter how high your completion percentage is, you're not Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, or Patrick Mahomes.
You can't. They're just not expected to carry a game-winning drive on their backs. Elites in the NFC.
I just don't feel the same way. Like,
hey, listen,
like
I'll eat
Purdy,
my words. If Matt Stafford or Jared Goff,
Baker Mayfield,
like absolutely carry the fuck out of their team, but like
Brock Purdy is not
mention
an elite.
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield is
Do not
also
fucking
elite.
bring up Baker Mayfield in elite QBs.
Jameis
My
Winston.
God.
Okay, we can maybe accept Jameis, all right? But like elite is like you can't be at you have to be in the top 5.
We're saying the top 5. Top 5 is the elite.
Probably top 3 at this point. Because there's
I would say
there's a definitive line at the 3, and everything under that is very much not what the top 3 are.
Here's I'm gonna say top 4.
Okay, if it's top
for division championships. You know, there's like four quarterbacks played to make it to the Super Bowl. You have it 4.
Okay. I agree then. Hands tied behind my back. I goddamn agree. You got me. Okay. It's a dub. Moving on. Dub or flub. Russell Wilson stays with the Steelers.
Flub.
Flub. Get that guy out of there.
What's he gonna do for you
Holy.
next year, huh? Losing the playoffs again? Best case scenario?
Well, Tim, I don't think it matters who's at the quarterback for the Steelers. They're going to lose the wild card.
They are cursed.
The past 5 or whatever years.
It is insane. It's crazy that the Steelers at one point in the season were like, wow, these guys are beating the Ravens. Oh my gosh, they have a 2-game lead in the division. Wow, the Steelers, this might be, a decent year for them. Crashing out after that.
Crash and burn.
They
My
gotta
question is, do
figure
you guys
out
think
quarterback.
if they get rid of Russell Wilson, do you think they keep Justin Fields in?
Hear me out. They signed Sam Darnold.
They're not
That's
signing
such a
Sam
Steelers
Darnold, dude.
move. That's such a Mike Tomlin middle of the road winning season move. Winning season and then no actual
he has a Super
wins of
Bowl.
note.
I agree. I would say Russell Wilson does not stay in the Steelers.
Dub.
Moving on. Justin Herbert is a fraud.
Easy dub.
Dude, you're the biggest Chargers anti-stan, dude.
I think this is a flub. I do think that he is not a fraud because I think he is a good quarterback.
What if he had more than
What
one
does he
weapon?
need? What does he need to
More
win?
than one fucking weapon, Tim.
He needs an offensive line and any other wide receiver with a name that can catch a ball besides
Tim,
Ladd
let me
McConkey.
tell you this, Tim. All right. McConkley, right? He was 9 for 197 yards. Tim, the next person up, Will Disley, 2 receptions for 16 yards, Tim. You go from 197 yards to 16, Tim. That's your fucking receiving core.
I don't care. I don't care.
Did you see the pick where he threw it to the tight end? The tight end juggled it and just threw it into the defender.
I did see that one, but
maybe
his one where he threw it high and too fast. I'll say that's on him.
Justin Herbert's not an answer.
You think the Chargers should get rid of Justin Herbert?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
he's not a fraud. If you're willing to keep him as a franchise quarterback, he's not a fraud.
If that's what fraud means, I'm saying he's a fraud because he's been built up for so fucking long, and he's 0-2 in the playoffs, and he looks terrible in the playoffs. That's fraud behavior. Is being
you know
built
what?
up, and then when it comes to matters in the playoffs, you look like shit.
He may be a playoff fraud, but I don't think he's a fraud. So I'm gonna say Flub.
Flub. Flub. Flub. Flub. Or dub.
Should have been a Chargers fan.
Denver's
Should have been a Jets
season was a huge success.
fan.
We already talked about this a little bit, but massive success.
Their defense
Playoffs,
is strong.
Rookie quarterback looking
they got a
decent.
future with a quarterback.
Dub.
They got a great number 1 wide receiver.
They got They probably have the best defensive player in the league with Patrick Surtain. So
Yes, sir.
they have room to build.
I would say that the Broncos are the team that I had my opinion increase the most over the course of the season, if not for the Commanders existing, and if not for Jaden Daniels existing.
MVP.
But they do. I started off the season being the Broncos are fucking awful. They're not going to do shit this
Everyone
year.
thought that.
And now I'm like, I respect them.
Yeah, straight up.
Dub. Dub or flip? Jane Daniels' back is straight broken from all the carrying he's been doing.
Dub. This Washington Commanders team is fucking nothing without him. Literally nothing. He's carrying their ass. Good for him. Good for the Commanders. It's been a while, so good for them. But his back has got to. It's starting to tear, I think.
Yeah, it's a dub.
Dub.
It's just like Josh Allen's carrying the Bills. That's all I'm going to allude to that. Glad we're all in agreement. Amazing, guys. Dub or flub?
So now you're just purposely moving on. Moving on.
Mike Tomlin should be fired.
I'm gonna say
Dub.
why not? Yeah.
How many years of mediocrity can you handle? Who the fuck cares if you get 9 wins a year? That just means that every year you go to the playoffs, lose in the first round, and have a shitty fucking draft pick. He's actually killing their chances at drafting high-end players, while also killing their chances at ever making any success in the playoffs. It's like the Bears cycle, but just a little bit better, I guess.
A little more success. I agree. Yes. Yeah. I'm gonna do my own thing. Let's try something new. Dub or flub? AJ Brown reading a book on the sidelines was a power move.
By the way, sales of that book are up 50 million% or something.
I was gonna bring that up too. It's actually insane. I cannot
I'm a
believe
fan.
this.
I'm a fan of that.
You think it's your fan?
I'm a fan.
Power
I
move?
think it's really funny.
It's funny, but
he was having a bad game too, right?
It's a playoff game. He has 1 catch for 10 yards. Playoff game that he just starts reading a. Why does he have a
Dude,
book on
he
the
had to
sideline?
lock in. If you can't lock in on the field, maybe you lock in on the sideline, you know?
He did that in protest of him not getting the ball. I guarantee you.
Probably.
It's a terrible look. You can't be doing that in the playoffs. That's insane.
The
games
reason was
left.
he said it's a book he's read before and it's a focusing ritual. But
I think that's a load of bullshit.
So you're calling this a dub or a flip? Sorry,
This is
I'm
a
calling
flub.
it a
This
dub.
is bullshit.
Yeah, it was a power move. It's got aura behind it, dude. He was aura farming. Dub or flub? Wildcard weekend was full of bad games.
unfortunately, that's a dub.
It's such a dub. Beforehand, you're just I know, most of these games probably gonna go straight forward. Higher seed wins. Oh my god, just boring. Every game went to a T of how it was supposed to go, seed wise, except for Commanders and Texans. But
Well, guys, I'm no genius, but the Commanders and Bucks played, and we're saying the whole weekend was full. That's a flub. That's a flub. That was a tooth and nail fucking fight.
All right, fine. The weekend was full of 5/6 of shit games.
Yeah, that's a dub.
Mm.
Moving on. Dub or flub. Playoffs feel weird without the Bengals. Feel off.
Nah,
We'll
we're
call
chilling.
this is a flub.
The flub. We're chilling. They don't gotta be here.
The Bengals have made the playoffs the same amount of times as the Browns in the last 5 years. Two times.
They're kind of talked up a lot, but they ain't got a whole lot to show besides one Super Bowl appearance.
Yeah, it's
Which is
always
which
next
is
year.
great.
It's always
Yeah.
next year. It's the Bengals here next year, not this year. When's
Hey, I
next
don't
year
want to
coming?
say anything, but I wouldn't be saying that as a Vikings fan personally. But
Hey,
whoa,
game
we're
recognizes
the third.
game. Okay.
We're the third winningest franchise in the NFL. Yeah. We don't need no Super Bowls. We win games.
we win fucking games, baby. Dub or flub. Bucks defense sold. You already know what I'm gonna say. Dub.
I didn't watch this game. I can't say anything.
I'll just hop on Caden's back and go dub here, just based on time of possession.
Thank you,
Why
Kale.
not? That was a good stat. You get
Gotta help a
you
guy
get a dub
out.
from a guy who didn't watch it. Just because you brought up his stat.
Fucking light work out here. Dub or flub. Jordan Love is not that guy.
He is definitely not that guy. This is a dub.
What does that guy
He-
mean?
That guy? Are you the guy? I don't think he's the guy.
Okay,
many
I would
guys
say
are there
a
in
lot
the
of
league?
people are not that guy.
I would say a franchise quarterback that you see yourself winning in playoffs and potentially Super Bowl
Not that
would
guy.
be that guy.
He's not that
Lamar, that guy.
guy.
Dude,
Jordan Love was a rookie last year, right?
No. He
It's
sat
his third
behind-
year.
Yeah, he sat behind Rodgers
Third
for like
year
3
starting.
years.
But
Yeah.
that's
Sat
what.
behind Rodgers for like 3 years, and then he played for the end of a season, played all of last year, and then played all of this
Okay,
year.
so last year was his first year starting, though.
I don't know. He just doesn't. He tears it up, but it's like he's either tearing it up or he's not looking good, and there's like no in between. So I'm praying he's not that guy. So I'm gonna say flub or dub. Sorry.
I'm gonna say flub.
This is a flub.
He could be that guy.
Please
It's not
no.
definitive that he's not that guy, though. Moving on. We got our upcoming games, the divisional matches. Let's dive into this. Let's dive into this. So, last week, let's talk about points. Quick. Let's talk about points, everybody. You guys think I should pull this up? Pull up the diagrams, or you guys think I'm
Nah.
good just talking? All right, we'll
just
just
talk
talk
it.
it. We'll just talk it. So, going through all the games because how we're going to do this is wildcard matches are 1 point, divisional matches are 2 points, conference matches are 3, and Super Bowls are 4. And this is just for your team that you pick to win won their game during each round. So, week 1, or wild card week, for the Chargers Texans, every single one of us took the Chargers to win. 0 points there. Following, we had the Ravens Steelers. Everybody took the Ravens to win. Everybody has 1 point. Following, we had the Broncos at Bills. Everybody took the Bills to win. 2 points for everybody. Following, we had the Eagles at Green Bay. Everybody took the Eagles win. 3 points. Following that, we have the Commanders at Bucks. I took Bucks. These two schmucks took the Commanders to win. They're at
Are we
4
the
points.
schmucks
I'm
in
at
that
3
situation?
points. And then me, the GOAT, took the LA Rams to win. And these schmucks took the Vikings to win. So,
Fuck.
to end the
I
week,
had to.
everybody has 4 points. Tie game going into the divisional matches. But let's see who's got teams left. Tim, up first has the Ravens beating the Bills. The Chiefs don't matter because
They're just gonna win.
he took the. Are we counting that as the Chiefs to beat the? Because he had the Chiefs beating the Chargers. Or are we counting his point there if they win? Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so Tim has the Chiefs beating the Texans. Tim has the Lions beating the Commanders, and the Eagles beating the Vikings, which would now be the Rams. Moving on, Caleb. He has the Chiefs winning. The only flip here, there's 2 flips on his. The Bills beating the Ravens, and then he had
It's the Lions beating the Commanders.
the Lions beating the Commanders, and then the Vikings, or the Rams now, beating the Eagles.
No, I'm out with that. My
You're
team is out.
You're
so
fully out? You're cooked?
if your team that you picked to win.
Okay, gotcha. It's just because the Chiefs are still, they haven't played
Correct.
yet. I get you.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm cooked. Vikings.
It's okay.
Vikings all the way. Didn't last long. Cooked.
And then for me, I did end up correcting my thing. I took a test right after, or right before technically, and I'll just list off what I have. So I had the Chargers fighting the Chiefs. I took the Chiefs to win. I had the Ravens fighting the Bills to win. I had the Rams fighting the Lions to win, and I had the Bucks fighting the Eagles to win. So even though the Bucks aren't there, are we allowing my Eagles win if they win?
Yeah.
Yes, if they win.
Nice.
If they win.
If they win, of course. If they win, of course. So that is the points for this week. Good luck, everybody.
I need every other thing to be right.
I really almost should have taken the Chiefs to lose, but I didn't. I wouldn't have had the Chargers. I wouldn't have the Texans
real
there.
Good
so
for me if the Ravens win.
Perfect scenario. Yeah, Tim. If the Ravens don't win, you're cooked. But if the Ravens win, we're cooked.
Yeah, that's pretty much the brackets right there. I think there's some leeway with
Maybe I'll make a comeback.
Yeah.
But let's get into the last game, the 4 games this week, and then we'll get out of here.
Understandable. All right, Texans at Chiefs predictions. Let's do score predictions. What do you guys think this game will be scored?
Score predictions. That's good.
Ooh.
I think the Chiefs have yet to score above 30 points still. Is that true?
Yes.
I think they score like 24. Maybe even 21 or like an 18.
I'm going to go 27-10 Chiefs win.
I'm going to go 21-10 Chiefs win.
21-16 Chiefs win.
Interesting. A lot of field goals.
A lot of field goals.
This is going to be
hella field goals.
I'm going to tune in for an effective hate watch. The only hope that the Texans have is if defense just gets like 4 picks again. I'm going to be honest. And Mahomes is kind of the guy that doesn't do that. That he locks in when he needs
threw
to.
picks this year.
He's definitely thrown picks, but in the playoffs,
I just think that
Mahomes,
they know how to win in the playoffs.
Yeah,
that's just it.
No, they
there's
just have
no nerves with the Chiefs in the playoffs.
They got the zebra crew, you know. It's just the extra 8 people.
They may have the zebra crew, but either way, they have their very good coach, very good quarterback, very good defense. Yeah, they have it all.
Yeah, I'm just
unfortunately.
Up next, Ravens, Bills.
I think I've said
predictions,
everything.
Tim.
I've already. Obviously, I'm gonna say Ravens dub. They're gonna score 28. Is that a reasonable score?
I'm gonna hit you with the 42-35.
shit.
42-35 Bills.
Wait, actually, let me do some research on this. What was the last score?
The last time they played was a high score for the Ravens, and not a
35-10.
high score. Yeah.
I'm gonna go 17 28. I'm gonna go 17-28. Maybe
Damn.
17. No, I'm gonna go 17-24 again. I'm do 24 again.
That's a low scoring game.
I
Both
just
teams.
think I think the Ravens defense is even more locked in than they were before, and I think we're missing Zay. So I just adjusted a bit from there.
Oh,
I
true.
think this is going to be a high-scoring game like Yale, but I think it's going to come down close. I'm taking 38 Bills, 35 Ravens. Field
Love
goal
it.
game.
Love it.
Mm.
Justin Tucker misses the field goal to tie the game.
To send it to overtime, and Tim
Yep.
crashes out.
That's
This happens.
That's a
This
guaranteed
actually
crash out
happens.
next
I don't know if
week.
Tim will
is
be
if
here next
Justin
week.
Tucker misses us that fucking. Oh my
Tim-
god!
Tim's
Don't
just
even
gonna look
say.
so
Don't put that in
disheveled.
the air. Oh my god! It feels dirty just hearing it.
Up next, we got the Rams at the
Eagles.
Eagles. Yes. Yep.
I really want the Rams to win this because I hate the Eagles, but I already bet that the Eagles would win in my bracket, so I have to go with them.
Well, Tim, you don't
Um,
have to. You can say who you want to win.
Okay, I'm gonna say Rams 20, Eagles 14.
Hmm.
I just think Matt Stafford's gonna ball the fuck out.
I need the Eagles to play the Lions because the Eagles, I think, are the only team that can beat the Lions. So I need the Eagles to win. So we're gonna go with the Eagles to win, and I think they're gonna score at least a decent amount. So I'm gonna go 28-17. The Rams are gonna struggle to score this game.
I'm going 21-16 Eagles.
Look for when you're watching the game. If you think it's over in the first half, it's not. The Eagles come back in the second half, and almost every time they've played games,
Yep.
the rushing just beats the defense down. So watch out for that.
Last up, Commanders at Lions in Detroit.
Ford Field.
Give me. I want a mercy killing of Jaden Daniels so I don't have to talk about him on this fucking podcast
Oh my
anymore.
God.
This guy
What a
hates
hater.
you, Daniels. I didn't know it was like that.
Hater.
I'm just joking. Give me crunching some numbers. Hang on, crunching. Yep. This is final. This is locked. 28. No. 26 Commanders, 35 Lions. Yep. 2 field goals.
Interesting.
Yep.
26 is a weird number.
I'm going for a score-rami, baby. Let's get
All
it.
right. Oh, there was a scoregami this last week.
With
It was the Texans Chargers.
was it? Okay, nice.
Yeah. Fun fact. I literally want the Lions to lose so bad, but I just don't see a world where they lose this game. Their defense played very well against the Vikings. I think that the Commanders are going to score and play way better than the Vikings, obviously, but the Lions' offense is high-powered, and the Commanders' defense is not high-powered. So it's just going to be a difference of Lions are better on both sides of the ball, probably. So I'm going to go with a 35-28 game.
I think this is just going to be an absolute wipe. That I don't think the Commanders going to be able to stop shit. I think you're going to have a really tough time getting through. Well, I think it's going to be like 38-14.
All I'm saying is that we got some high-scoring predictions
Guys,
this week. This could be exciting.
Yeah. These are, except for Texans Chiefs, these are some damn good games.
I'm gonna add to my Lions
I think.
score. I'm predicting 49.
What?
I'm predicting 49 Lions.
Not
Did you
crazy
just
to
look up
say.
the
Not crazy
scoregami?
to say with these lines.
You absolutely looked up a scoregami. There's no way you just said 49 out of nowhere.
49 35. 49
That's
35.
insane.
What
No,
the
49
fuck?
38. 49 38. Lock it in. It's locked. 49 38.
You
I just
lose
cooked.
points in the playoff predictions if you get that wrong.
No,
That's too crazy.
insane.
Minus half a point
What, dude? No.
for crazy pick.
Approved.
No, do not. We're not democracying this right now.
You gotta say Tim. You gotta say second. I second it.
Seconded.
Boom.
What, guys? That's crazy.
Motion
Tim's audio
approved.
cut out on the recording right there.
I still see purple.
Well, editing is a hell of a drug. Well, everybody. I know. We're ending a little bit shorter than our past few weeks, but
Less
course, we're
football
down-
to talk about.
it's true. It's true.
More
We're
exciting
down.
though.
We're down a team. Be down 2 next week. R.I.P. R.I.P. And it'll keep getting shorter till we get to that last one. Caleb, did we want to talk about plans after now, or talk about it once you get closer? You think iron it out?
Say closer.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, we'll do one after the Super Bowl.
We'll do
For
one
sure,
after the
for
Super Bowl
sure.
for sure. For sure. All right, everybody. That will conclude this week's episode of Onside Takes. Hope you all enjoyed. We will see you next week. And as always, stay awesome.
See you guys.
Adios.